Welcome to the SoberQ podcast.
Hi, I'm Laura and I'm an alcoholic. My question today is, what did I lose because of my drinking? It was a bit of a hard question for me, but I guess the way that I could explain what I lost is by just telling you the end of what happened, I always knew that I was an alcoholic. I just didn't know what that meant. I knew that I was restless, irritable, and discontent since I was 5 years old, and so did everyone around me. I have little girls, and they're just sunshine. They wake up with energy, positivity, and rainbows, and I just don't relate to them at all because there was always just something, consistently disformed inside of me when I was little. And it never seemed to go away, but I didn't like feeling the way that I felt. And as soon as I could find things to put into me that would change the way that I felt, that restless, irritable, and discontent, anything I could find to fix that, I grabbed onto it with a fury. It was kind of like, what was I using at the time to change the way that I felt? Well, it is whatever the last thing that was offered to me. My mom put me in a lot of therapy, a lot, and they were very well-intentioned people, and a lot of people who cared about me, trying to help figure out and crack the case, and it would be like, oh, your dad left when you were 5. Crack the case. That's why you're in pain all the time. Well, no, I don't think that's it. They'd say things like, oh, you were bullied in high school. Crack the case. That's why you're angry and, chasing your brother with knives. And I'm like, I don't know if that's it. But it didn't really matter because none of the therapies, none of the rehabs, none of the inpatients ever worked to change how I felt, and that's when I finally found alcohol, and it was the one thing that worked, it changed the way that I felt, and it gave me good days, lots of good days. I loved drinking. Alcohol, helped me feel great. And, even though the bad days started coming, the good days were still there for a really long time. There was even a time in my early 20s where I could drink as much as I wanted to drink and stay my goal weight, keep a job. Life was great. But slowly but surely the bad days started coming, and I would have 7 good days, then 6 good days and a bad day, and then 5 good days and 2 bad. And it progressively and slowly got worse and worse. And to the point where I didn't realize that I was now having all bad days. And that once in a while, here and there would be a good day attached to alcohol, but I didn't know how to have a good day without alcohol, no matter what, no matter if it was giving me good days or bad. And it came to the worst day in my drinking, and I finally decided that I could no longer blame any person, place, or thing, that I had become an alcoholic and that alcohol was the problem. I was harming my husband in front of my children, and I got arrested in front of them, and my little girl was screaming in the window, big blue eyes, staring at me, get taken away. And I realized that there was something bigger that needed to change. As I was walking home the next day from, being taken away, I knew in that moment that if my husband opened the door for me, that he shouldn't. And if my children still loved me, they shouldn't do that either. I lost everything in that moment, but I lost it inside of me because they loved me and were going to open that door no matter what. And so I had to decide in myself that I had lost any delusion that I could drink like other people or that alcohol still worked.
If you would like to share your experience on a recovery question, visit the SoberQ podcast website at soberq.com. Thanks for listening.